Hello everyone, back again with an update on our garden experiment down here in our basement. I made some changes, actually a lot of changes. I haven't updated this in at least a couple weeks. I forget the exact amount of time. I haven't been keeping track of that. I believe the last time I talked to you, we had just planted some seeds for our tomato plants, and this is how they're doing. I planted more than 5 seeds, but I've been plucking out the other ones. I just wanted to keep 5 plants in here because as they get bigger, I'm going to have to replant them. So I figured these were spread out the most, and then I could separate them as they get a little bit bigger. Hopefully that won't be too big of an issue. And if it is, then I'll keep the center one and get rid of these others. So we'll see how that goes. Our poppy plant's doing really well. It's still not huge and full like this Coleus plant is back here, but it's doing a lot better. We'll just continue to see how that goes, and hopefully we can get that to go to flower. Our yellow onion here is looking as ugly as it could possibly look, but it's still growing. I planted a green onion in here just because I'm having some issue with my green onions, and I'll talk about that later, but I wanted to see if it would do better in this pot. It doesn't appear to be. It seems to be kind of still struggling, so I'm not sure what's going on with that just yet. The Coleus are doing great. All the clippings have survived where I was trying to propagate the plant. One of the things I talked about in my last video was a few of the clippings that I had, I noticed after I did it and planted them, they were going to flower. They started budding. And I didn't notice that. If I knew that, I wouldn't have cut them. But it really didn't make any difference, apparently. What I ended up doing is I pulled the flower buds off of them. Just because I wanted, everything I've ever read or heard is that sometimes you want to get rid of the flowers because the flowers, if you're trying to get the plant to grow bigger and fuller, I don't know how accurate that is, but they say get rid of the flowers or the fruit, and it'll let the plant focus more on its root system and its development as a plant. So I pulled all the flower buds off, and apparently it felt differently than I did. And if you look at this one here, you see this dark center here, right at the tip of my finger? That's where the flower bud was, okay? I pulled that off and it decided to sprout 2 new ones. So, it's got some weird scientist stuff going on where you kill one and it creates 2. The other thing is, here's another one that did the same thing. And here's one that decided it was going to start flowering. Little lavender flowers, they don't get any bigger than that. But it's got 4 flower pod things going on this. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. I know when they go to flower, that's when they start going to seed. So we'll see what happens. What do I want to talk about? Oh yeah. One thing that I did notice, and you could see it here on this stem, all the clippings, the stems that were left in here, they didn't just die off, okay? And some of them didn't even have any leaves left on them. Okay, this is what happened, especially over here. When I clipped it and they just had a stem left, if you look right here at this little, where the leaf shoot comes out and there was a leaf that came out this other side, if you look right down into the little armpit crack, whatever you want to call that, you can see leaf sprouts coming out on both sides. And each one of these joints, especially over here on the stems that didn't have any leaves, and some of them that did have leaves, what happened is 2 leaves came out per spot. So again, you kill one and it grew 2 on each side. Let me show you. There's examples all over, but I want to see if I can show you one that's real obvious. Here we go. I don't know how well this is focusing. You see that? You can see where the stem was cut in the center, and then the 2 leaves sprouted on each side. And it's done that on all of them, every single one of them. Some of them, like this one here, has got a whole bunch of leaves. It was cut here, and it's got a whole bunch of them now. And there's a few other on this other one that are as full as that one as well. So I found that really interesting because I was a little concerned because after I had cut them out, I noticed, hey dummy, some of these things don't even have leaves on them. You just left them with a stick. How are they gonna survive? And I guess they showed me. So, like I said, I'm really happy with the progress of the Coleus. They're doing great. I'll probably do a couple more clippings, especially of this one here. This is a really strange one because of the color. I'm going to probably try to cut that once or twice before springtime comes so that I can get a few more that are that strange color. I think it's kind of neat. It looks a little sloppy. It looks like ink, strange watered down ink tie-dye stuff, but it looks kind of cool. So, and I don't know if that's just, like you see this one here that doesn't have hardly any color. We got a few of those that they're not quite as vibrant, and then we just got this one that's really, really vibrant as far as, it's like almost I don't want to say that, like a pinkish red versus these other ones that are like a really dark red. So, anyway, as far as the onions are concerned, and this is part of why I moved this light down. The onions have been struggling. The green onions have. And I don't know what's going on. It could be many, many different things, okay? Number one thing that it could be is it's overpopulated. I just threw a bunch of seeds in there and it's clearly just growing like grass, and they shouldn't be that close together, but they are. But these seem to be doing okay. They're not growing as at the rate that they were when they were in the window, because I used to be able to cut on this grass stuff all the time. Now I haven't cut on them in a few weeks, and they seem to be growing okay. Some of them are getting pretty thick. But I wanted to put them on as close as I can to the light to see if it helped speed up the growth process, to see if part of why they're having an issue is not enough light. Another thing, outside of being overpopulated and possibly not enough light, is that maybe I was overwatering it. The soil was pretty damp for a long time. Again, these seem to be doing okay. They weren't dying, but the bigger ones that I bought from the store the stock on them seemed to be getting really thin and just sickly looking, I guess you can say. And I'm not sure what was going on with that, and a few of them didn't survive at all. So we'll see. We'll see if the light makes any difference. I don't want to give up on them just yet. I do eventually want to get a long rectangle pot and dig this whole thing up and separate all these grass stuff and try to spread it out a little bit and see if that helps. But for now, I'm going to just leave things the way they are. I may clip on this grassy stuff tonight for dinner because some of them are kind of long now. Just give it a buzz cut basically and see how things go from there. But outside of that, we're just sitting back and seeing how things go. As these tomato plants get bigger, getting tongue-tied, I'll obviously have to create some sort of a cage, and that's not a big deal because I've got my welding fab shop and behind our house, so that I can make that no problem. But we'll see how that goes. It'll be really cool to be able to claim that I grew some tomatoes here in our basement, not knowing really what the hell I'm doing. As far as the lights are concerned, I left one up where it was at, okay? And I did that for two reasons. Number one, I was being lazy and I didn't have a way to lower it without having to go into my shop, and it was cold outside and I didn't want to go out there. Matter of fact, it's cold out there right now and I got to go out there. It's in the 20s. There's about 2 inches of snow on the ground and it's cold as hell. So, but I decided I was going to leave that up there for at least a few days, maybe a couple weeks. We'll see. What I'm looking for is when you put plants in a window or whatever, the plants tend to lean towards the light. Okay, towards its prominent source of light. What I'm looking at is all the Coleus in the back here. I want to see if they start leaning towards this light. If they start leaning towards this light, then that means they're not getting enough light, in my opinion. So then I'll lower this down so that the light's a little bit more direct and right in their face, basically. And then see if that helps speed up the growth process. They are continuing to grow. I could just be, being impatient, but it doesn't seem like they're growing at the rate that they were when they were in the window during the summer. But that could have something to do with temperature as well. So we'll just keep playing this by ear and seeing how it goes. And if I notice them leaning over, I'll lower that light down, and we'll just keep doing things the way we are. This right here, I had harvested, you've seen in one of my other videos, I had harvested some jalapeno seeds. I planted a few of them in this right a couple days after I harvested them, and that was probably way too soon because they've been sitting here not doing anything for a couple weeks now. And so last night I decided to kind of dig through here to see if I could find any of the seeds, to see if they were doing anything at all. And I found a couple of them and they weren't doing anything. So I took a few more and I put them in there, and we'll see how it goes. We'll give it a few more weeks and see if we can get some sprouts. I also harvested some green bell pepper seeds. So at some point, if I can get these to start growing, then I'll find another pot and start planting these seeds, the bell pepper seeds, and see if I can get a bell pepper plant growing, because that'd be kind of nice as well. So that's it for now. Like always, subscribe, comment, like. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, be sure to go like our Facebook page. If you choose to use Twitter instead, follow us on Twitter. The links will be down in the description. That's pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. And remember to never let anybody get in your way of creating and exploring life and trying new things, because it's something to keep your mind going, puts a smile on your face when you get a little bit of success, and it's healthy. It's good for your brain. So anyway, talk to you guys later.